Durant, no problem so far. Stephen A. on whether the Warriors can finish the job without KD. Don't get mad, get even. What Toronto has to do to contain Giannis and prevail in tonight's Game 2. Brooks Koepka threatening to run away with the PGA. How Tiger and the field can mount a challenge. We're live at Bethpage Black.
I hope Steph miss every shot and get destroyed by Steph.
This is a real problem. Well, at least give him some chips and maybe some chicken.
Tiger Woods just arriving a few minutes ago at Bethpage Black for his second round of the PGA Championship. Tiger teeing off 1:49 Eastern after his 2 over 72 yesterday. He's playing in the same group as the leader and defending champ, Brooks Koepka, who fired that course record 63. We've got a live report from Bethpage coming up. David Lloyd and Jay Harris holding down the desk on this Friday. Stephen A. will be the third man in just a minute as the champs wriggle off the hook and steal Game 2.
Yeah, Portland entered last night 15-0 when leading by 15 or more points at halftime. They're not 15-1. Here we go, Game 2, Western Conference Finals. Portland Golden State. Hey, Seth and Steph Curry, the brothers, squaring off once again. Mom and dad repping both of their youngins. In the fourth quarter, the Curry brothers put on a show. Steph by his brother using the screen with the jumper. A little later, Seth, hey Steph, take 3 of those. Both Curry parents loving it or hating it because I want him to win. 1:10 to play. Blazers down 2. Damian Lillard, no. Seth Curry, yes. Curry brothers, Seth, 16 points. Team high plus minus of plus 13. Steph dropped 37. Team high plus minus of plus 10. And mom and dad are like, we raised us some talented kids. Oh my goodness. Ensuing Warriors possession. Steph to Draymond Green to Mr. Looney. That ball movement. Warriors back in front 112-111. Next possession for Golden State. Steph driving. Draymond layup. The lead is now 3. Blazers looking to answer. 10 seconds to play. Dame time, right? Guarded by Andre Iguodala. Damian tries to take him left, and Andre says, give me that basketball. Strips him, and Steph just throws it up, and the clock reads triple zeros. Watch it again. Lillard, known for his late game heroics. Iggy with the defense. He's done this before. Thank you very much. We're going the other way. Here's Damian Lillard on the play.
For me, as the offensive player, I felt like it was contact. There was a lot of contact, but obviously the ref is not going to decide the game or jump in at that point. So they good defensive play.
Yeah, it was. Curry giving Iguodala 3 high fives. Warriors get the win, take a 2-0 series lead.
Do you feel like you dodged a bullet there tonight?
Oh, totally. We stole that game. I thought they outplayed us for much of the night, the majority of the night. But we brought enough competitive fire in the second half to overcome, their great play.
Even being down 8 with 6 minutes left, we knew the game was far from out of reach. And, that lineup, me, Andre, Steph, and Draymond logged a lot of minutes of basketball together. And then throw Kevon Looney in there, who was special tonight. That's a mini death lineup in itself.
At the very least, with those 2 wins, the Warriors are buying time until KD gets back, and it looks like that might take a while. The Warriors say Durant's calf injury is more serious than they originally thought. He will not travel to Portland for Games 3 and 4, and his status for the rest of this series is in doubt. But don't have a cow over the calf. You think losing one of the game's best players would create problems, but the one-loss record says no. The Dubs have won 29 of their last 30 without Durant and with Curry in the lineup. Steph averaging 28 points in those games without Durant, and Clay 24. Stephen A. joins us now, as he has throughout these playoffs. So, Stephen A., that kind of felt like the Blazers' game for about 3.5 quarters. Steve Kerr said afterwards they stole it. KD is out for the foreseeable future, so you put all that together. How big of a concern for the Warriors?
Well, it's a big concern from the standpoint that they looked gassed, and Portland had them. They amped up the defensive pressure. I thought the great Damian Lillard, who I think is first team All-NBA this year as far as I'm concerned, I think he caused Portland because if you really, really look at it, when they had the game in hand before Golden State made that run, or better yet, while Golden State was making that run to erase a 15-point deficit or so, what you saw was too much dribbling on his part, and he got away from making sure that C.J. McCollum got the ball. So as a result, C.J. got out of rhythm and ultimately missed some crucial shots down the stretch that he normally makes. I think that as the point guard for the Portland Trailblazers, you got to see that, and it can't be just about you. You got to recognize the fact that that's a beast that you needed to feed, particularly when you see what C.J. did in Game 7 against Denver in the semifinals and what he can do overall. It wasn't obviously anything intentional. Damian Lillard is great. I just thought that it was a bad stretch of a few minutes that ultimately cost them the game. Having said all of that, you know, the Golden State Warriors know how to amp it up. Steph Curry has rediscovered his stroke. Klay Thompson hasn't been bad, but I can't say enough about Draymond Green and what we're seeing from him. Kevon Looney hit all 6 of his shots. You've got production off the bench from Jordan Bell as well, and you got to give a lot of props to Coach Steve Kerr because he could see that those guys were gassed. And obviously you're trying to sit Steph Curry for a few minutes, sit Klay and Draymond for a few minutes because you knew you were going to need them for the stretch run in the fourth quarter, and those reserves held it down for them. And I also thought that that was the difference in this game.
The outcome is they're 2 wins away from the finals, 6 wins away from repeating as champs. If I give you the Warriors without KD, their best player, do you still make them as the favorites to win it all?
Hell no. Very, very simple. They're not beating Milwaukee without Kevin Durant. I can tell you that right now. When you look at Milwaukee, their size, their length in the interior, their ability to defend on the perimeter, not to mention hit perimeter shots themselves, whether it's a Lopez, it's a Bledsoe to a lesser degree, it's Mirotic to a lesser degree, it's Brogdon who's now back and giving production. He outscored Toronto's entire bench in a reserve role for Milwaukee. They have enough weapons where and especially when you consider the height that they have available to them, that it's going to take KD's return in order to deliver a championship for the Golden State Warriors. You can have an answer over the course of 48 minutes of the shooting that Klay and Steph will give you because of that size, that mass. That's just too much to put on the shoulders of a Draymond Green and a Kevon Looney. But if you get KD back, who can look the Greek freak eye to eye, particularly out on the perimeter, and drop 30 at any given moment, that is something that the Milwaukee Bucks, in my opinion, will not be able to overcome. But it's the only thing they will not be able to overcome. The Golden State Warriors to three-peat must have KD return. If he does not return ready to play, the Milwaukee Bucks, in my opinion, are going to win the NBA championship.
Okay. Still plenty of work to do, obviously, for both teams to get through into the finals. Game 3 tomorrow night for the Warriors at the Moda Center in Portland. Stephen A. giving us extra reps today. And still to come, can the Raptors kick it into another gear? What it will take to steal Game 2 in Milwaukee? Stephen A. is going to return later on SportsCenter to talk about that.
David, to golf we go. Second round of the PGA Championship underway at Bethpage Black in Farmingdale, New York. Tiger Woods, Brooks Koepka, Francesco Molinari set to tee off at 1:49 p.m. Eastern. Tiger struggling with his putting, among other things, in round 1, finishing 2 over for the day. Koepka rolled in the lead, course record 63 on Thursday. Taking a look at your leaderboard, you see Koepka's course record. He's still leading because everyone that went out today, especially Danny Lee, he was 1 shot behind, and he's tried to come back. I think he went down as far as -1. He's back up to -2. We'll keep you updated on the full leaderboard. Again, Tiger Woods looking to win consecutive majors for the first time since 2006. Joined now by ESPN senior golf analyst Michael Collins from Bethpage. Michael, you called it before his first round. If Tiger were to struggle, it would be with his short game. He ranked 98th in strokes gained putting yesterday. So how does he address that particular aspect of his game before he tees off today?
Well, that's one of the problems, Jay, is you can't simulate adrenaline and how you're going to feel when you're jacked up out there on the golf course. There's one thing that Tiger might be able to do, and that is when he gets out here to the golf course today, which we saw him arrive, he's going to start on the putting green. He's got to try and just loosen that putting grip up as much as possible, because that's what happens when you get stressed. You grip the putter a little bit tighter, and we see when those 3 putts start happening, you get a little stressed, you try a little bit too hard, and your grip gets a little too tight. So if he can just lighten that grip pressure, things will be good. But I'll tell you this, conditions on Friday today out here, much different and harder than they were on Thursday. There's a 60% chance of rain this afternoon, so that's not necessarily good for Tiger Woods in trying to make this cut.
Let's talk about Brooks Koepka for a second, because all he did in the first round was card a course record 63. I'm giving you Koepka or the field to win the PGA Championship. Who you got?
Brooks Koepka, period. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Not even. Remember, Brooks was playing with Tiger Woods. I'm a fan and a friend of Tiger when it comes down to it, but there are fanatics out there that just went off the deep end after Tiger won the Masters, talking about how the intimidation factor is back. No, it ain't. Not when it comes to Brooks Koepka. And remember, Brooks Koepka shot a bogey-free 7 under and didn't birdie either of the par 5s. This is a guy who right now is dialed in, and dialed in to a point that we saw when he won majors last year.
Again, Koepka and Tiger teeing off 1:49 p.m. Eastern. Michael Collins, thank you, my brother.
We know Zion is a singular talent, but how do his skills transfer to the NBA? Up next, Jay Billis on Zion's biggest challenge as a pro. And the Curry family business, what it's like for Steph, Seth, and their parents to see sibling rivalry play out on one of the NBA's biggest stages.